Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Higurashi Kira Episode 3. I really have mixed opinions on this episode right now, okay? If you watched all my other reviews of Higurashi so far, then you'll probably know why. Okay. I liked this episode. I did. It was my least favorite of this OVA so far, but I liked this episode. Okay? I really did. But it's bogged down for me considering they put that Sonozaki grandmother cunt in it. Not only is she present, but she also has what's supposed to be a funny role, but to me is just really fucking stupid, and I don't like it at all. So yeah. That being said, I still really like this episode. The plot's very simple. I guess you could say it kind of parodies something again. I guess you could kind of say it parodies it kind of parodies the shipping fan base of the series in a way, because it's basically a romance comedy in this episode, okay? It's about Mion, Shion, and Rena falling in love with Keiichi. They basically form a love square, and it's unconfirmed really which one he's actually in love with. Okay, although they do imply that he's in love with at least one of them. But he doesn't want to choose any of them because he's afraid that their friendship will end up falling apart then. And although they feel the same way, they kind of still want him to choose someone so that it doesn't go unanswered. And since they're aware of this now, they will try, I'm assuming, try to pull through it in the end and save their friendship, okay? It's kind of funny because the first part of the episode actually has Shion pretending to be Mion, because Shion realizes that Mion's in love with her, or in love with him like everyone does, I'm pretty sure. And so she actually pretends to be Mion to get Keiichi's attention and get him to fall in love with her and whatnot. However, she's supposedly in the beginning doing it for Mion's sake, but along the way she kind of loses track of that and ends up falling in love with Keiichi herself. I think it's been kind of obvious at this point that both Mion and Rena's in love with Keiichi. So, yeah. So that's kind of how it works, and then there's a game that they play at the end, which Satoko and Rena, I guess, came up with, for him to randomly choose one of them to take out on a date. However, he ends up choosing the Sonozaki grandmother, Oriyu, I believe her name is, by accident. Because they just had to play it on the Sonozaki land, which would have meant that she could have been walking around there. You know what? I'm just gonna move past that now. That's my biggest complaint about the fucking episode. I'm just gonna move past that now because you should all know how I feel about her now. So let's just get through with it, okay? Okay. Anyways, so moving on from there. I really like the ending too. It was kind of sweet because you know that Mion's in love with Keiichi, and it's implied from that scene that Keiichi might actually be in love with Mion, okay? And I think that, the two biggest shippings that the fans end up doing for the series is Mion x Keiichi and Shion x Satoshi. Those are like the two big ones right there. In fact, I think that, right. Well, I think there's some people who do Rena and Keiichi as well, but those are the two big ones though. Alright. Alright, so that ending's definitely catering more towards the Mion and Keiichi stuff, because I think if they did Shion and Keiichi, a lot of Mion Keiichi fans would have been pissed off, and a lot of Shion Satoshi fans would have been pissed off as well. So I think that was a smart move there, and personally I'm a Mion Keiichi fan myself, so I really like that as well. Here's the thing though, I always wanted, and I know this is going to seem like blasphemy, but I always wanted to see a spin-off that's purely based on the romance aspect, because romance has never been a huge part of at least the first two seasons of, well, never really a big part of Higurashi period, really. Okay, but there's obvious, it's obvious that certain characters are in love with certain characters, such as Mion and Rena being in love with Keiichi, and such as Shion being in love with Satoshi. I mean, those are obvious stuff, and I kind of would like it someday if that's actually turned into like a full series spin-off. It doesn't really have to affect the main story of Higurashi. Obviously, it'd just be a fun spin-off for anyone who's willing to watch it. And I think that'd be kind of interesting. And that's kind of, I think, what they were going for here. But obviously, it's just one episode in a 4-episode OVA. In which each of the episodes have nothing to do with each other. Okay, but like I said before in this review, though, I think this is really trying to parody that whole fan thing about the shippings and whatnot in this series. So in that regard, it's still kind of like a parody of something. Kind of like episode 1, which was a parody, in which it's a parody of itself, really. But this is something completely different. It's also an added bonus because it's a parody of the shipping fans as well. So anyways, I really enjoyed this episode, like I said before. Not my favorite episode in the in this OVA. My episode 2 is still my favorite episode in this OVA so far, but I really enjoyed this episode, though, and I cannot wait for the next one, to watch the next one. So anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.